Alright, so we are going to learn about perimeters. I don't know if you have ever worked with perimeters, but just in case, I wanted to make sure you had another quick little lesson on it. So get your math journals out and write all this in there. Perimeter is the distance around a shape. That's the definition you need to have right there. Perimeter is the distance around the shape. And then you label it with whatever measurement they give you to begin with. So to calculate the perimeter, all you have to do is add up each of the side lengths of whatever shape you're looking at. So in this case, you're going to say 3 plus 5 plus 4 plus 4. Add those up and you get 16. And then you label it inches. So let's try one of these. So let's look at this shape. So we're going to take the numbers around them and make sure you keep track of where you started. So 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. There's another 5 plus 3, so 8 and 8 would be 16. So the perimeter of this rectangle is 16, and then you need to label it inches. 16 inches. Again, you're just adding up all the sides. Let's try another one. Alright, so now we have a slightly different type of shape, but again, you're still just finding and adding all of the sides. Think of it as like a fence line. This is the fence line around this particular shape. So I'm going to add 3 plus 4 plus 4 to get my perimeter, which would give me 11. So the answer to this one is 11, and this is labeled 11 centimeters because that's the shape that the measurement they give you. Make sure you're writing this in your journals, example number 2. Good? Alright, let's do number 3. And you don't have to draw this in your journals unless you want to. If you do want to draw the shapes because you're visual, like me, that's totally fine. You'll probably want to pause the video and draw it before I do it. Alright, number 3. So, again, following the perimeter, and it doesn't matter which number you start with at all. Just make sure you don't lose track of which ones you have written down. And my last one. And I add all those up, so I'm going to have 1.5 plus 2.5 gives you 4, and you have it again, so that's another 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. And then we label this feet. Good. Alright, so if anybody asks you how to solve perimeter, what are you going to do? You're going to add up all of the outside of the shape. So, 1/2 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 1. Now, this one's the last tricky one because you have fractions. So we need to get a common denominator. Okay? Well, a common denominator would be 4. All I do is change this 2 into a 4. So I'm going to multiply this whole thing times 2. So that changes this number from 1/2 to 2/4. Okay? So 2/4 plus 3/4 plus 3/4 plus 1. Then you add up all the top. 3 and 3 is 6, plus 2, 7, 8. 1 and 7, whoops. 8 over 4, we can't leave that 8 over 4. How many times does 4 go into 8? 2 times. So then I'm going to say plus 2 to that giant number 1. So my total answer is 3. So 3 inches around this shape. Alright? If you get fractions, that's going to be your tricky one. Make sure you don't do it too quick. Get a common denominator and simplify. All right, this shape is actually a fence line, so this is a great example. Scoot it over just a little bit. All right, so the first question, number 5, find the perimeter of the pasture. So we need to add up all 4 sides of this shape. So we have 50 plus 180 plus 75 plus 150. So you add those all up and you're going to get 455. And then label it feet. So I'm going to write that over here, 455 feet. Okay. Number 6 says you have 450 feet of fencing. Do you have enough to fence the pasture? Well, if this is 450, I need 455, so no, I do not have enough fencing to fence this pasture. All right, so again, when you're dealing with perimeter, it's all around the outside of the shape. Another way to think of it is fence line. That's the visual that always works for me. All right, so get going on your IXL. This should help you for your next 3 IXLs.